expectations or best practices would you give somebody? Like, what would you kind of say, hey, this is what I would suggest moving forward if you're going to implement this, because we figured this out in year 2 and it really helped?
Like, as far as a hurdle to get over is just the file, like I was talking about earlier, the file consolidation, having the actual information be sent off. And this, of course, will vary firm to firm, but since there is a tier level of pricing, dependent on like how many pages there are, we've had a lot of focus on just trying to get that not only down as much as we can, but just also what is actually needed for their return, and keeping in mind those tier levels. But also beyond that, it's kind of like some of the times what you sent, if you don't have something sent off that's actually organized well up front, that makes it harder for even the people that you're sending the information to at Xpitax to prepare it properly. So we've always gotten everything like in organizer order, W-2s, 1099 INTs, divs, and then just, boom, 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 go through the organizer, put everything that applies to each category. And then if, for instance, there's a client who actually maybe sent back their organizer and filled something out, if there's something relevant on that page, we will include that as well with the source documents. And I think that that's been just a big part of the process for us, just because it's kind of like, another partner said it this way, where it's like you put garbage in, you get garbage out. That's kind of the approach that we've taken with PDFs, because having what you send off be as in order and as precise as possible really helps also the quality that you get back. So I think that's been a really big thing for us, besides the engagement letters itself. But that's, of course, just like I was talking about, depending on the clients and them being able to talk to someone that they trust and get that assurance from as well.
Yeah, who are you having do the kind of the initial sorting and kind of going through the prep of the documents on the front end? Do you have staff doing it? Is it admin staff? Who do you all use internally to do that?
It is mostly staff. There are a few offices who have continued to do it with admin. I came from an office that did it with admin, so I'm very familiar with that part of the process. It really depends on how you want to utilize your people at your firm, because of course, no matter who's doing it, they're going to learn a lot of things. But if you don't want your admin taking more of that control, even further down the line, like beyond Xpitax, then it would make more sense probably for staff or like interns or staff to be the ones doing that. But if you're looking for maybe your admin to actually be developed more along the understanding accounting lines, or if someone is actually interested in doing that, it's not a bad idea to have them be part of the process. I'd say that having admin do it is initially, with my personal experience, more likely to yield more organization up front, because that's part of their job in general anyway, is to be organized. But it's still just all part of like who you want to learn and how you want them to learn is for that process.
Patrick, how about you, my friend? Who do you have internally kind of getting the documents in line on the front end? And then what best piece of advice would you give after this last year with Xpitax for yourself next year, for anybody looking to come on board?
We actually created a new role inside of the organization because of Xpitax and the outsourcing process. I make it akin to a loan processor. When you call up and you apply for a mortgage for a house, you actually don't deal with the mortgage broker when you're submitting all your paperwork, your W-2s, your taxes, your whatnot. So we took that same adage. We actually hired somebody who was a loan processor at a mortgage company and brought her in, and she became our tax processor. So she would chase people down for a copy of their W-2 or some information that was available. She would organize the documentation for us. Took a little bit of training, but we turned that administrative role into a very useful source and allowed our CPAs and tax preparers to focus on actual tax returns instead of organizing documents.